Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. I want to welcome you on in. If you are new, I hope that you enjoy this type of content and I hope that you will stick around. I am on a mission to reach 340 subscribers by the end of this month, at the end of February. My ultimate goal is to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, as I want to do a giveaway of some amazing budgeting items. So if you want the potential chance to win, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell. You will see videos like this from me every single month. At the end of the month, it is a cash count up to see what progress I have made in my sinking funds. Some are online, some are in binders. So we will go over that. And if you are returning, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. So yes, today I'm going to be counting up how much progress I have made in various sinking funds for the month of February. Like I said, I do this every single month. It keeps me motivated. I hope that it keeps others motivated and shows that just budgeting, cash stuffing, even saving little amounts really does add up over time. So before we get into it, I have 3 online accounts, so you will never see these stuffed. They are all digital. Money goes into them around every single paycheck, so about every 2 weeks or so. So the first up is my vehicle category. So this is for vehicle maintenance, and it gets money again, like I say, every single paycheck. And at the end of January, it had $411.08, and at the end of February, it has $481.26. I do use my laptop off to the side. I use an Excel sheet because it does the calculations for me. So if you're used to seeing these videos where it's written out, mine is done on my laptop, but I do keep it to the side and let you know. So next up is going to be my household fund, which I have kind of deemed for buying things like toilet paper, paper towel, dishwashing tablets, laundry soap, etc. And if I had to say buy a whole new set of plates, a set of glasses, things like that, this is where that money would go to. And at the end of January, I had $75.04 in here. And at the end of February, I have $77.94. That is because I had to buy some household things. So it technically went up, but then it went down because money had to be used, but that's okay. At the end of, Christmas. So I do save for Christmas starting in January. I think this is about my 4th year doing it. I put money every single paycheck into an account so that when I want to start buying Christmas gifts, and I do a rough budget for my Christmas, no hard and fast, but I want to spend X amount on sort of certain people. And then I always leave a little bit of a buffer for in case, you spend a little bit more on somebody or you have to buy some extra wrapping paper, things like that, which I did this past year. At the end of January, I had $40 in here. And at the end of February, I have $80.02 because it does earn just a small smidgen amount of interest. So next up, I am going to change up the order. I have a binder that I was using and I will show you the binder. This is an amazing binder. I have a couple of them from Iris over at Iris Budget. She makes these by hand. I have had this $500 one for quite a long time and it's been used multiple times, as well as this 1K is starting to get used. But the reason I'm showing this is because I have been saving to cover for when I go for surgery again. I am projected to have surgery this year, and because of that, I will be on disability from work. I was saving money to cover the gap. So between what I should potentially bring in on disability and then what I want to pay for my basic bills, but as well as continue to save in certain categories. So I have $1,000 in the bank that should help cover that gap. Last time I was off for 3 months, and it's fair to say I will most likely be off again for 3 months. So that $1,000 can be used during that time to help cover the gap. And if I don't use it all, then I'll probably throw it into my emergency fund when it's over. So next up is another Iris binder. This is a 1K Iris binder. In Canada, we can save in multiple different investment vehicles for our retirement. And one of them is called the tax-free savings account. And I believe it's very similar to the US's like Roth IRA. If I'm wrong, I do apologize. But what I am planning on doing is filling this binder at least once to put $1,000 lump sum into that account. What I ultimately want to use that account for is when I go to retire, I want to have About a year's worth of expenses so that I don't need to start Canada Pension Plan right away, or obviously start collecting old age security. Old age security kicks in at 65. Canada Pension Plan you can start taking early, but my goal is to retire about 64 potentially, and then have a year where I'm basically going to use the money that's in my tax-free savings account. So in here, this binder is from Iris, like I said, and I do link everybody that I use down below. And she always has these little mini savers that you can purchase. You don't have to put them in a binder, but this money is going to help me save $200. And then what I will do is redistribute to the envelopes back here when it gets completed. So in the front envelope, I have 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60. So we have 160 in there, and this is getting money every single paycheck. And that is up $80 from the previous month. So that sounds right based on how much I have been putting in there. So next up, we are just going to quickly go into some monthly challenges that I am saving. This money is not earmarked for anything in particular yet. I'm just trying to save some money and we'll figure it out later. So the first one up is a monthly challenge from Ira. It is a year of savings, and I have been saving since the beginning of the year in here. And so we have 20, 40, 60, 80 in here. And so we are up $40 in here. The goal is to get to 120 in here, and then I will start saving in a different challenge. But yeah, I still have to decide what I want to earmark this money for. So next up is this challenge also from Ira at Budget with Ira. And I saved up, it's his 2026 challenge, and I saved this up kind of at the later part of 2025. This money I don't have earmarked for anything. I will figure that out again. And we should have 180 in here because I haven't added to it. So we have 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 170, and 180. So that is correct. There's definitely no change there. So yeah, still have to decide what I'm going to do with these challenges. I don't know if I want to do maybe a randomizer and then redistribute them. I really don't know. I do have other savings challenges in this binder, but I do not count those because when they are finished or come to the end of the quarter, they then get redistributed amongst sinking funds. So I just don't count them. So next up is going to be for my home binder. I have money I'm saving up for a new home. I have condo insurance. I also have furniture. This is furniture for future place, appliances, future appliances, maintenance, in the future when I purchase a different place, as I currently live in a condo and we cannot have pets. So I am looking at moving so that I can get myself a dog, but also have the family dogs come over. Also just, a little bit more space. That is the goal. I believe I might actually buy in 2027. I've been humming and hawing. The goal was either this year or next year, and I think I'm leaning more towards spring of 2027. That doesn't mean I still won't look, but yeah, we will see. So this money is getting saved up for new home. It's going to go towards things like lawyers costs, moving fees, if you have to set up any utilities, that sorts of thing. It's not a down payment. The down payment will come from the equity that I have in my current condo. So we have 500, 600, 700, and 750 in new home, and this is in the bank, and it is up $110 from last month. So that is great. My first goal is to get this to 1,000 this year, and I think I'm going to far surpass that, but that is great to already be at that. So next up, I have money in my condo insurance. Condo insurance is very similar to renter's insurance with a few little caveats, but it's not overly expensive because technically my condo is attached to other condos. It's like an apartment style condo, so it's not a freestanding condo. So it has $300 in here, as that is coming due. I think I looked, it's at the end of May. I'm hoping it's not more than 300. It was, I think, around 280 last year, but I always build in a little bit of a buffer just because things always seem to increase. So that has stayed the exact same at $300. So that binder is all good to go now. So next up is my binder where these are definitely priority sinking funds that I am saving for. And I am saving for my emergency fund, which is a priority. And my goal is to get it to $3,000 this year. If I could surpass that, that would be amazing. But I am definitely well on track, which is always super exciting. So at the end of January, I had $1,750 in here. And at the end of February, we have, let me just get these out. They're all placeholders. So 1,400, 600, 850. So 1,850 in here. Ooh, I would help if I put in the right number. So we are up $100 in here, which is correct. I treat this like a bill. It gets money every single paycheck. So when I do my budget, I write out my income, of course, because my income, it doesn't really change. Every paycheck, it kind of alternates. I have benefits taken off one paycheck versus the other. And then what I do is I write out the expenses that are due around that pay period. And then I do things like my emergency fund, my pets, my month ahead, that I basically write into the budget before I figure out what I'm going to put into savings challenges, into sinking funds. And I always do budget for my groceries, my eating out, and my spending money, but I do treat that like a bill. That's how I figure it out. And these trackers are custom trackers from Iris over at Iris Budgets. She makes amazing items. So that is that. Next up is new vehicle. I am slowly starting to save for a new vehicle. I don't need one right now. I want to purchase one outright or have as small a payment as possible. And I've never owned a brand new vehicle. That's not the intent. My vehicle is doing fairly well, just some routine things. My vehicle is 11 years old and knock on wood, it's very low mileage as I don't drive very far. So that definitely helps. And also regular maintenance like oil changes, topping up fluids, checking things like that. So this is just to kind of start on the habit of saving towards a new vehicle. So we have 50, 70, and 80 in here. And so we are up $30 from last month. So we are getting close to our next 100, which would be great. Again, this is a slow burner, but definitely just trying to get in the habit. So next up is month ahead. So as I said earlier, I plan to purchase a different place to live. And what I want to use this money for is ultimately what I want to do is purchase a new place, then sell my current place. And what I would do is use the money in here to help cover monthly expenses instead of relying solely on my paycheck. So we are saving for our second month because we have already completed 1 month, which is great. I'm so happy with that. So in cell phone, I have 120. In gas, I have 120. Insurance, 180. Groceries at 200. Property tax at 230. Cable internet at 180. 470 in condo fees, 610 for my mortgage, and $100 for a buffer. So in month ahead, we have $2,210. The ultimate goal that we need for 2 months would be $3,670. So we are about $1,460 away from that, but I think I should be able to get there by the end of the year, which would be really good. If I get to the end, if I get to the second month goal before the end of the year, I don't know if I will do a third month. Haven't thought that far ahead. So next up, I'm going to bring out a binder that doesn't get a ton of love all the time. Oh, and I did totally forget. In my home binder, I just remembered, I have money in furniture. So this is, again, like I say, furniture for a new place. So we have $100 in the bank, 5, 10, 15, and 20. So let me do that before I forget, because I don't stuff very much in here very often. So that's why I forgot. So furniture is up $20 from January, which is great. All right. So these are sort of yearly expenses, things that I save up for and then kind of hold the money, and then I will use it when I need it. So first up is going to be our renewals, which is my AAA and my car registration. Car registration is due in September. AAA is in April. So I'm going to have to be paying for that soon. But what then I do is then when I pay for these categories, I quickly start saving up the next year's, like basically that month or the next month, so that I know I have the money in here and I don't have to worry about it. So we have $200 for both of them. So they're about $100 each. So that is in the bank. We have in here subscriptions. I do have a subscription that comes out monthly. That is my Netflix. I do not have Amazon Prime. I do have Disney, but that is included as a freebie with my cable and my internet. I don't have to pay for that at all. I do have Sirius XM that I listen to in my vehicle as well as when I'm working. I got an amazing deal back in 2024, July-ish, for $5 a month for 2 years. So what I did was I put $60 kind of every year towards my credit card because it charges monthly. I have not decided if I'm going to renew this. The only way I would renew it is if they could give me that $5 a month deal. Otherwise, I'm getting rid of it. But I haven't started saving for it yet. So we're just going to put that as 0 because it's had 0 for a while. Next up is health. So this is like a health buffer. My benefits do typically reimburse me for most things for most of the year, but as the kind of year stretches on, I tend to have gone through those. So I like to have a little bit of a buffer should I need that money to use. So at the end of January, we had $40 in here, and we have 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, and 55. So again, it would help if I put in the right number. So we are up $15 in here. I think the ultimate goal would be obviously to get this to 150, but it's not really needed right now. So that's why it doesn't get a ton of love right now. Next up is travel. Travel has had $150 for quite a while. It has not gotten any money because it's not a priority for me. It's just very expensive to travel within Canada and outside of Canada. The places that typically are fairly inexpensive are to the US, but due to the ongoing sort of tension between the Canadian government and the US government, I do not plan to travel to the US until somebody else is elected. I have been to a few places in the US and would love to see more. They are our closest neighbor, so definitely would like to, just not going to be happening right now. So next up is going to be night out, date night, whatever I want to. I typically use this for yoga, to go to yoga sessions. It had $60 at the end of January, and it should still. So we have 20, 40, 50, 55, and 60. So that is accurate. If I wanted to use this money to, say, see a comedian or see like a live show, I could definitely use that money if I wanted to. So that binder is done, and we have one binder left. And this is one that gets money and then gets money taken out because it's kind of like what I would call like a revolving sort of binder. So first up is going to be our hair category, which my appointments are around every 9 to 11 weeks. And so it had $15 at the end of January because I had my appointment in January. And it has 20, 30, 35, 40, and 45. So it's up 30. And I will get money before my next appointment, which is towards the end of March. And then so it will pretty much probably be down to nothing when I do my count up in March. But then it will start getting money again in April. Next up is nails, and I get my nails done roughly every 4 weeks. And at the end of, sorry, I had to burp there. At the end of January, we had 45 in here, and we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 5. So that is, it had no change. It technically got money, and then money came out for my appointment this month. So that's why. All right, next up is beauty. I think I'm gonna have to take some money out of here to reimburse myself, but I have to figure that off camera. So at the end of January, this category had $25, and it has 20, 30, 40, and 5 in here. And it might help if I put it in the right space. So we are up $20, but like I say, I think I have to go through here and figure out because I've made some purchases. So clothes, I know I'm definitely going to have to go through. I had to purchase some new underwear and some new bras. So yeah, money's going to have to come out of here, but I'm going to worry about that after. So we had 110 at the end of January, and we have 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 91, 5, and 10. Again, this one I think I'm going to have to take money out of, so it's probably going to go down, but that's okay. That's why we save up, because when we need to purchase something, then we can use the money and we don't have to feel guilty about it. Next up is technology fund, which is to save up for a new laptop. And this at the end of January had $470 and now it has an even 500. So we are up 30 in that category. Next up is pets. Like I said earlier in the video, I do not have any pets, but my goal is to get a pet in the future. So I'm putting money every single paycheck towards here. I think it's a good habit to get in. Even though you don't have it, the money is something you will eventually be paying for. So for me, it's just been a habit, good habit, I think, that I've started. So at the end of January, we had 800 and we now have $900 in here, which we do have in placeholders. So we do have a 500, 700 and 900. So that's awesome. Next up is gifts. So this is gifts for Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays in my family. And exciting news, my sister and brother-in-law have found out that they are expecting their first child. So I will be an aunt officially. I technically am an aunt to my brother and sister's dogs, which I love pets. I love dogs, but I will have a real human baby that is either a niece or a nephew. It's still too early to know that, but that is super exciting. So yay. So definitely we will be probably getting something for Christmas. Baby won't be very old at Christmas time. Baby is due in October. So nothing too crazy, but obviously the next year will be kind of exciting to see what we get for baby. So yeah, we had $20 in here at the end of January, and we have 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40 in here. So we are up 20. And like I say, this is mainly used for Mother's Day, Father's Day, and birthdays. So next up is in giving, and I did make a couple donations, so it is down, but that is okay because I save in here to then turn around and give. So we have 10, 20 in here, which is down $30 from last month, but I made a couple donations to some charities that have meaning to me, so that is definitely not a bad thing on my part. So I'm just going to double check and make sure I have done every single category that I have on my spreadsheet. So yes, I am finished. So we at the end of January had $8,761.12 across the sinking funds that I keep track of on here. I do not keep track of my checking account. I have money that I put away for property taxes that I do not count in here. I do not include any of my investments. So this is not a net worth thing. This is just to see the progress that I'm making across various different sinking funds. So at the end of February, which is super exciting, I have $9,539.22. So yay, I have made it past the $9,000 mark. I am so excited. I am so happy. I know some of these categories will eventually come down, and that's okay, but this just keeps me motivated knowing that I need to save every single paycheck and really make a deliberate effort, because this has taken me a long time to get here. So if you are watching this and you go, oh my God, I could never save that much, this has been a cumulative thing over years, and every little bit adds up. So definitely, if you are not cash stuffing, definitely get started. And I hope this is motivation that keeps you going, because it definitely keeps me going. But I just appreciate you being here so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely love to hear your thoughts down below. And my next video that you should see, I think I obviously haven't filmed it or anything like that, but I am getting paid very early into March, so it will most likely either be a mini Monday or a cash stuffing of my paycheck. So I hope that I catch you there, and I will see you all later. Have a fabulous day. Bye, everybody.